Hello Autobots and Decepticons, my name is Somongi and today I'm bringing you some Transformers War for Cybertron action. In this video I'm going to give you some tips, I'm going to give you some tricks, and I'm going to try to help you improve your soldier class. Now the soldier class is a very slow class, but it does deal a lot of damage, and he's actually probably my second favorite class after the scientist. And it's taken me a long time to kind of warm up to him and get used to playing with him, so if you kind of struggle with him at first, keep at it and you will get better. For his weapons, he has the X12 Scrap Maker, the Emp Shotgun, the Neutron Assault Rifle, and the Thermal Rocket Launcher. For his abilities, he has Hover, Whirlwind, Ammo Beacon, and Energon Slang. And now I'm going to go over these weapons and abilities before I touch the upgrades because I feel like he has a lot of good upgrades and a lot of different good combinations that you can use. Also, on a side note, in this gameplay I will try to get you some footage from the Autobots and the Decepticon soldier, as well as a bonus clip at the end, so stay tuned for that. The soldier's X12 Scrapmaker is my personal favorite. This gun is a huge machine gun that he carries around with a lot of ammo in the clip, and the longer you hold it down, the faster it gets going and the more it rips faces. If you haven't used this gun, you have to use it because it is just amazing and you really feel the soldier's full power when he is using it. And a lot of people do prefer to use his EMP shotgun. You guys all know about the EMP shotgun. The scientist has it as well. 2 bullets in the clip, does a lot of damage, has really good range for a shotgun, and a lot of people prefer this as his primary, although I myself prefer the Scrapmaker. For his secondary, I always use the Thermal Rocket Launcher. I like the rocket launcher because you're going to be able to lock onto anybody in vehicle form, so you can lock onto those scientists that are hovering above you that you have really no answer for if they're doing a lot of barrel rolls and stuff, and you'll be able to lock on with those thermal rocket launcher, and you also have a very good weapon to take care of anybody in vehicle form. I feel like the soldier has the best weapons for situational fights. He always has a chance to kill somebody in car form. He always has a chance to kill somebody that is trying to get away with the thermal rocket launcher, or at close range battles you can use the Scrapmaker or the EMP shotgun and have a good chance to win. For his abilities, he has Hover, which allows you to elevate off the ground and hover above your opponent and move left to right and just shoot while you're doing that. Now this increases the damage that you will deal, but it also makes you a sitting duck. I rarely use this ability, but I could see it being used pretty well in some situations on maybe team deathmatch. His other ability is Whirlwind. Now this is the most funny ability in the game in my opinion, and once you kind of start getting success off the Whirlwind, it's hard to not use the Whirlwind because it's hilarious and you can just pick up some massive double and triple kills. And what it is he just brings out his Energon axe and just starts spinning around and just takes out anybody in his path. It's kind of like the old school move back in the day when you're just swinging your arms over, around and around in a circle and just going at your opponent on the playground. For his other 2 abilities, he has Ammo Beacon. This Ammo Beacon will make everybody that fights near it stronger, and it will also refill your teammates' ammo. And if you do put on a different perk and upgrade for it, it will also give your teammates 1 grenade. And then for his last ability, you won't see me using it in the gameplay at all because I was not playing any like team deathmatch, but he has Energon Slang. And this is a very important ability if you are playing against a lot of leaders. The Energon Sling will disable their abilities for a brief time, so if you see a lot of leaders or maybe even scientists or anybody that you're playing against, if you can hit them with the Energon Sling, you will take away their abilities for a brief time, and you should have enough time to kill them in that amount of time, especially if you're pretty close to them and you can get into meleeing them. For his first slot in the upgrades, he has Poke Alpha. This will increase the damage of the Whirlwind. Next, Sharpshooter. This reduces the spread of all weapons. Third, Death from Above. This does increased damage for the Hover. Next, Grenade Dispenser. This will give your teammates an extra grenade whenever they come over if you have the Ammo Beacon on. Next is Heavy Weapons. This will increase the damage of all his guns. And lastly, he's got the Path Blaster, and this is used with Ammo Beacon, and once the Ammo Beacon is filled up, this Ammo Beacon will just magically turn into an Ion Displacer. And the Ion Displacer is really fun. I know you guys have seen me use it in a couple games. It looks like a Nucleon shot cannon, only it's a huge machine gun, and it does some serious damage. I recommend trying out this perk and trying it out for yourself for a little while, but then I do definitely recommend handing this Ion Displacer off to a scout who can turn cloak and who can dash with it. For his second set of upgrades, he has Flurry of Blows for his first one, and this will increase the speed of your whirlwind. For his second spot, he has Flak Armor. This will allow him to take more damage from explosive weapons such as grenades and frag launchers and weapons such as those. Next, Saboteur. This adds sling time to the Energon Sling. I don't feel like this one is necessary because usually if you're going to use the Energon Sling and disable the person's ability, you should be able to kill him in that amount of time already. Next, you have Flight Pack. This adds hover duration. Once again, I don't think this is a good option because I think you hover long enough where you should be able to kill him, and eventually if you're hovering too long, you become a sitting duck for scientists and scouts out deeper with burst rifles and null rays. Next is Energon Absorbers. This decreases the damage taken while doing Whirlwind. Now this could be a very good perk if used in the right situation. I could see it being used on certain spots in Conquest, Power Struggle, and even Countdown to Extinction, and possibly if you're around a lot of people in team deathmatch settings. So that could be a good one as well. Lastly, he has improved heat sink. This will reduce all his reload times. And if you're using the thermal rocket launcher for your primary, which is also a very good primary, it doesn't have quite the splash damage as the fusion cannon, but this could help by letting you fire off more rockets. Alright, for his third upgrade spot, he has Weapon Stabilizer. This reduces the kickback for all his weapons, and this could be very useful because the Scrap Maker does provide a lot of kickback at certain points, and this will allow you to improve your aiming. Next, he has Nemesis Maker. This increases the damage of his grenades, and this could be very good because if you throw this in a cluster of people, you're almost guaranteed to kill, especially if there's a scientist there. And his grenades are very lethal. They're flat grenades, and they do damage in a wide radius. Next is Blaster Amplifier. This allows you to carry 2 extra clips of ammo. Next is First Aid. This decreases your health regeneration delay. Next is Explosive Capacitor. This allows you to carry 2 grenades. And then lastly, Rapid Recharge allows you to bring back your abilities quicker. And for his kill streaks, he has Ammo Matrix. This will lock your teammate's ammo clip, which means no ammo will be taken off for a short period of time while you're shooting, and it will also refill all your ammo and your grenades. And then for his 5 kill streak, he's got Electromagnetic Pulse, which jams every enemy's abilities on the battlefield for a certain amount of time, but after they die, they come back in and their abilities will not be jammed. And lastly, I think the most fun kill streak in the game, the Omega Missile. You just unleash the fury out of your chest, and you just drive it along. You might kill yourself a couple times on this. You got to be careful. I do recommend jumping up in the air and using it at first if you have nothing in front of you. Otherwise, use it on the ground and guide it. Don't hit it into your teammate's back because that will kill you as well. But this makes for an awesome kill streak. You can take out the whole team with this Omega Missile. And stay tuned for the bonus clip for an extra clip on the Omega Missile. Wink, wink. Alright, what I personally use for the soldier, I use the Scrap Maker for my primary, I use the Thermal Rocket Launcher for my secondary. For my abilities, I use Whirlwind and I use Ammo Beacon. And for my upgrades, I use Heavy Weapons, and I use Flak Armor, and I use Weapon Stabilizer. Now, I have my soldier set up to basically play Power Struggle. And I also have him set up a little bit to play Deathmatch because I am more of this type of soldier that likes to use my weapons. That's why I use the Heavy Weapon perk. And if my weapons fail me and I get surrounded by a lot of people, I bust out the Whirlwind, and then you can just clean them up like that. And a couple tips when you are using the Whirlwind: if you notice that you used it and then you're not hitting anyone with it, but people are shooting at you, don't continue to Whirlwind. Transform out of that and blast them with your tank cannon, or just start shooting them another way. But don't continue to Whirlwind when you are not making contact with someone. And if you do find yourself getting into a Whirlwind battle and you notice he starts his Whirlwind first, start your Whirlwind because you're not going to be able to escape on your feet with the soldier. Start your Whirlwind and Whirlwind the way that he's Whirlwinding, so neither of you are hitting each other, but so that when his Whirlwind stops, you will have a little bit of time to Whirlwind him back. And believe me, that will save your life in a lot of different situations. Now, a lot of people like to use the Emp Shotgun. but I strongly recommend trying the Scrap Maker first. The EMP Shotgun can be good, but I feel like the Scrap Maker can take out multiple targets at a time because it can just rip through them real quick. It does have to get going first, so it's a little bit slower, but if you do prefer the EMP Shotgun, definitely use what's comfortable for you with the soldier. And there are a lot of different ways you can set up your soldier. You can set it up so that if you want to be just the Whirlwind man, you can put everything on the Whirlwind, increase damage, decrease damage that you take with the Whirlwind, and you can also increase the speed. You can just set your soldier up so many different ways, and I feel like he can be set up almost as many ways as a scientist and be successful. And a couple huge things when playing to think about is, if you are coming up to a battle, can you get some shots in with your tank? This tank gun is huge for damage. You need to use this tank gun to weaken your opponents before you get there, especially if you don't have the luxury of having Warcry on your soldier, or if you realize that you're going to be coming up and fighting multiple enemies. This tank cannon can do a lot of damage. And another nice move that I like to do sometimes, you probably see me do it a couple times in this video, are jump back, quickly transform, and fire a tank cannon off, and then transform out of that because you are weaker in tank form, and then continue to shoot. And that tank cannon definitely will give you the leg up on your opponent. Now the soldier is pretty slow, so I recommend learning the maps that you like to use him on. Like, there's a couple specific maps that I really like to use the soldier on. One is Molten, one is Rust, and those are kind of indoor maps with less flying, and I know I can corner my enemies in tight quarters and really take advantage of the Whirlwind or the Thermal Rocket Launcher. And I also like to use them on Seed of Corruption because there is a long hallway in the middle, and especially when the Power Struggle nodes are on each end of each other, you get a lot of driving down that hallway, and you can really put work to that Thermal Rocket Launcher with the lock-on. And for what I hear, most people like to either play Scout or Soldier. It's kind of like a flip-flop situation. For a lot of people that like the Scout can't stand the Soldier, and a lot of people that like the Soldier can't stand the Scout. And I guess I'm one of the people that really like the Soldier and can't stand the Scout as much, but I've been getting better with the Scout, and I like the Scout quite a bit now. But I definitely recommend for all you guys that kind of don't play the Soldier at all, try him out, give him a couple tries. Even if you don't do that well in your first couple games, definitely play a couple games, get used to them. Try the setup that I use: the Scrap Maker, the Thermal Rocket Launcher, the Whirlwind, the Ammo Beacon, the Heavy Weapons, the Flak Armor, and the Weapon Stabilizer. Try that out because I feel like you have all the weapons right there to kill anybody, especially if you start whirlwinding and a scientist flies up above you. Transform, quickly transform back, use that Thermal Rocket Launcher, lock onto him, and you'll pick up a lot of kills on the scientist. I know a scientist can kill a soldier pretty quickly, not as quickly as a scout in my opinion, but I feel like you just have an answer with the soldier for a lot of different situations that you wouldn't with other characters. And he is also a very good teammate on the battlefield. There are a lot of times where you need ammo and your teammates need ammo, so you can provide that for them with the ammo beacon, and you can also increase everybody's damage near that ammo beacon, which is really nice to encourage your teammates to fight near the ammo beacon. And that can be a lethal combo because they're not going to have to go hunting for ammo, and they're going to have increased damage. So the soldier, he's definitely a situational character, but I feel like once you kind of play him over in a couple maps, he's definitely not good for some maps, but he can be very useful in a lot of different situations for a lot of different game types. Now, I haven't talked much about the Neutron Assault Rifle. It's basically just a basic weapon. Now, you can do a little bit of damage with this weapon if you land all your shots and you're really close, but I don't recommend ever using this gun for any class, really. And I just wanted to touch on that a little bit because I haven't mentioned that before. And another great thing about the soldier is he has the most health on the battlefield, so even though you're so slow, you will have time to go and find a cube, or you'll have time for a scientist to come over and heal you up. So you definitely can throw up some pretty big scores with the soldier. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope these tips and tricks can help your soldier out. So remember to leave a comment, leave a rating, and subscribe for more Transformers. Have a good day, guys.
Node contested. Online. Decepticons control the node. Node available.